Welcome back to our English class. Here is the complement of week 1. After this class, you are supposed to be able to 1. Identify the uses of the present perfect. Use the present perfect correctly in affirmative negative sentences. 3. Form questions using the present perfect. Now let's start talking about the present perfect. Let's start talking about the structure. We said that a sentence in English usually starts with subject, verb, and complement. If we are using the present perfect in a sentence, we are going to start the sentence with a subject, and we are going to use have or has plus verb 3 as the verb. Pay attention that we are using have or has plus verb 3, then followed by the complement. First of all, talking about the affirmative sentence, we are going to divide the subjects into two kinds: singular subjects and plural subjects. If we are talking about a plural one, like I, you, we, they, friends, teachers, books, we are going to use have plus verb 3. So we say, I have worked, we have written. Moving to the other part, where we are going to talk about singular subjects, like he, she, it, Sally, Ahmed, the teacher, we are going to use has plus verb 3. So we say he has worked, it has written. If I want to change this sentence into a question, interrogative, all you have to do is to switch between have and the subject. So we say, have they worked? Has she written? So what we did, we only switched between have and the subject. Moving to the negative, to change the sentence from the affirmative to the negative, all you have to do is to add not, and not is going to stuck with have or has. So we say they haven't worked or he hasn't worked. This is the structure of a sentence, question, and a negative sentence using the present perfect. Now let's talk about the uses of the present perfect. We are going to talk about 3 uses for the present perfect. The first use is to talk about an action that happened in the past whose results are obvious in the present. So take a look at these pictures. First of all, in the past, the past which has recently finished, the car was dirty, the man cleaned the car, and now the car is clean. So I have a result in the present, which is the car is clean. So that's why I said he has washed the car. I used has with verb 3. Because he is singular, I have used has. So, as I said, we are talking about an action that happened in the past and its results are obvious in the present. We can see that the car is clean now. Another example, the room was untidied, it wasn't clean. The children cleaned their room and now it is what? It is tidied. So we say the children is plural, have tidied their room because it's an action that happened in the past, but the results are obvious in the present. The last example, take a look at the pictures. Here we have a boy who has had lunch. How did we know? Because we have a clue in the present. He is holding a fork and a knife in his hand and he has a dish in front of him. So we can guess that he was eating his lunch. So we are going to say he has had lunch. We use has because he is singular. Had is verb 3 of have. Now let's move to the second use for the present perfect to talk about life experience, things that you have or haven't done in your life. If you take a look at the picture, we can say that the boy has flown a plane. So what do I mean by this? I mean that during his life, he had the experience or he lived the experience of flying a plane. So we are talking about life experience that happened during his lifetime. So we are going to say he has flown a plane. He singular. That's why we used has. Flown is verb 3 of fly. If we take a look at the question, have you ever traveled by plane? We used have because we are using the subject have, you, ever traveled by plane. So this is a question asking about life experience using the present perfect. Have you ever traveled by a plane? Now, we are moving to a very important idea, which is talking about the key words that are related to the present perfect. Number one, we are talking about ever. Ever is used in questions only. Pay attention that we use the word ever in questions only to ask about life experience. So for example, have you ever gone to Egypt? Have you ever traveled by a ship? In number two, we are talking about never. Never is used in sentences to talk about an experience you have never done, which means that you have never tried this thing in your life. Pay attention that the word never has the same meaning of the negative. So I say, I have never gone to Europe. I have never seen a giraffe. So I'm talking about things that I have never done in my life. Moving to for and since. For and since, we use them to talk about time, but there is a big difference between for and since. For is used to talk about a period of time, the whole period of time. So I say, I have lived in this house for 3 months. So I am talking about the whole period of time which I lived during in this house. In number two, talking about since. Since is used to talk about the beginning point of a period of time. So I say, I have lived in this house since 2019. So when have you started to live in this house? In 2019. I am talking about the start. Now we have to figure the difference between have gone to and have been to. These two verbs has a very big. Let's start with has gone. Take a look at the example. Mary has gone to London. I miss her so much. What is the meaning of the sentence? It means that Mary is still in London. So we use has gone to say that the person has gone to the place and haven't come back yet. This is the meaning of has gone. Have been to. Take a look at the example. Have you ever been to London? Of course, I've been to London a lot of times. It's such an amazing city. Pay attention that they are sitting together. So this means that she has gone and come back. She is not in London now. She is in her home. So the meaning of have been to, that the person has gone to the place and came back. This is the difference between have been to and have gone to. Week 2. Now I want you to move to your grammar book. We are going to discuss the exercises from page 9 till page 13. Exercise number 1 in your grammar book, page 9, is a homework. You have to write the sentences using the present perfect. Don't forget that a sentence in English starts with subject, followed by the verb and the complement of the sentence. Do the exercise in your book and send the picture of the answers to your teacher. Moving to exercise number 2 in your grammar book, page 9. In this exercise, you have to take a look at the list and to write sentences using the present perfect. Here is the answers of exercise number 2. Moving to exercise number 3, page 10 in your grammar book. Complete the questions and short answers. Use the verbs in brackets. You can tell that we are using the present perfect, so you are going to use have or has, depends on the subject. If the subject is singular, you are going to use has. If the subject is plural, you are going to use have plus the verb 3 of the verb between the brackets. Here is the answers of exercise 3. Exercise 4 in your grammar book is a homework. You have to write the words in the correct order to form a correct sentence or a question. Don't forget, we use never in sentences and ever in questions. Do the exercise in your book and send the picture of the answers to your teacher. Exercise number 5 in your grammar book, page 11. You have to take a look at the pictures and to send the questions in the present perfect using ever. Don't forget that we are going to use ever in the questions. So, here is the answers. Exercise 6 in the grammar book, page 11. You have to look at exercise number 5 and to write sentences, and don't forget to use never in negative sentences. A sentence which means not, you are going to use never instead of not. Here is the answers of exercise number 6. To exercise 7 in your grammar book, page 12, we are using since or for in the sentences. Don't forget that we use since to talk about the beginning point of a period of time, and we use for to talk about the whole period of time. Here is the answers of exercise 7. Exercise 8 in your grammar book, page 13, is a homework. You have to write sentences using the present perfect depending on the pictures. So look at the pictures and write the sentences. Don't forget to use since and for. Do the exercise in your book and send the pictures of the answers to your teacher. Exercise number 9, which is the last exercise in our unit. You have to write sentences, use the present perfect. We use have or has plus the verb 3. The homeworks in your grammar book: exercise number 1, page 9, exercise number 4, page 10, exercise 8, page 13. Moving to your workbook, page 8 and 9, where we are going to do the exercises that are related to the present perfect. Exercise number 1, workbook, page 8 is a homework. You have to complete the table with the correct verbs. Don't forget that verbs in English comes in 2 types: regular, like watch, watched, watched, and irregular, see, saw, seen. Do the exercise in your book and send the pictures of the answers to your teacher. Exercise number 2 in your workbook: look at the pictures and write sentences with the present perfect using ever or never sentences and questions. In exercise 3 in your workbook, page 8, write questions with ever, answer the questions for you. You can change the answer depending on your life experience. Moving to page 8, exercise number 1, read and circle. Number 2, complete the sentences. Use for, or, since, and a time phrase. You can take a look at the pictures and to write the correct phrase. Exercise 3 in your workbook is a homework. You have to answer the questions using since or for. Do the exercise and send the picture of the answers to your teacher. Homeworks in the workbook. Exercise 1, page 8. Exercise 3, page 9. Dear students, you are amazing, important, special, unique, kind, and precious. Work hard and keep the good work up. Your teacher, Islam Hamidan.